Welcome back to the Professional Hate Watching Association. My name is Ethan Galbraith. I'm here with Daniel Palmore. It is Black Friday, and I don't know, man. We usually do the show on Wednesdays. We wanted to switch it up because we can't stay away. Clearly.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to talk about today and over the last couple of days because while we took a short delay, the NBA did not. Well, it did on Thanksgiving, but Wednesday night ended up being just casually one of the biggest nights in basketball of the season so far. And I want to start with a team that we have not discussed a lot this season. And, a lot of the national media hasn't really either until as of late. It's a team that I've been calling for in the Instagram comments. You've seen it. Everybody else has seen it on the Misfits Instagram, by the way. Check it out in the comment section. You'll see proof of concept. It's the Toronto Raptors. And if you can see this, I've never once referenced this on any live stream I've ever done in this room. If you look in the back corner, you can see a pennant.
I see it there.
You can see a pennant. Now, I am not a Toronto Raptors fan, but I have been to Toronto a couple of times. And in the back right there I got a Raptors pennant when I was there one time, and that's just been in my room, for years at this point. So I figured now was more than ever was the best time to bring that up because last night or 2 nights ago at this point, Brandon Ingram, who a few months ago in the offseason, we didn't know what on earth he was going to look like because he did not suit up for the Raptors after he got traded from the Pelicans, has been playing lights out basketball for the Raptors this year. And he hit a very nice game winner. I don't know. It might have been over Siakam, but to beat the Pacers in cup play. And the Raptors finished 4-0 in cup play. First team to do it. Did you see that? Did you watch this highlight, right? You saw this?
I've seen the highlight. Yeah, I've seen it.
So classic BI, like it just, mid-range jumper. It was very, dare I say, DeMar DeRozan-esque. A lot of Raptors fans are like, oh my God, I haven't seen that move since 2018. Or maybe Kawhi in 2019. But, it was a great shot. Glorilla was right there on the sideline, on court side too, which I think
my new favorite NBA couple.
I was going to say the most random NBA couple, but I'm all here for I'm here for it. Every time she's there, they're like, he plays on fire. So, whatever works, I guess. That was a cool highlight. I know you saw it too, but I want to talk about something bigger, the bigger picture here. The Raptors currently sit second place in the Eastern Conference after over a month of play of basketball. Now, we've seen in the past teams that have started hot and for whatever reason they go cold and they don't finish where they're supposed to be or where they started. But the Toronto Raptors have kind of been just a machine. They've had the second longest winning streak in basketball. It's at 9 right now. No real signs of slowing down, especially as they just kind of chug through a lot of pretty mediocre Eastern Conference competition. I guess I wanted to ask you is like, how long do you think they can keep this up?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say that the Raptors dialogue could no longer be denied. You've been calling for it for a while now, and it's been we've had a large enough sample size to where I don't know if they're a title contender or anything, but they're absolutely a contender to get a top 3 or 4 seed in the East. And in terms of how long it can last, I think I can see it going the rest of the season, given the landscape of the Eastern Conference. The Pistons are obviously very good. I think they look like the best team right now, given how Cade Cunningham is playing, how Jalen Duren is playing, how all their other guys are playing. They just got Jaden Ivey back too. If you look at the top 3 in the Eastern Conference, I don't know how much money you could have, I would not have guessed that the top 3 seeds in the Eastern Conference over a month into the season would be the Pistons at 1, the Raptors at 2, and the Heat at 3. And I mean, the teams that everybody thought were going to be really good going into the year, the Knicks have dealt with some injury problems. They're still pretty good, but they haven't been as good as people thought they would be. The Celtics are obviously missing Tatum. Halliburton's out for the Pacers. They're in a rebuild, not a rebuild, but like a retool year.
Reset year, yeah.
Giannis is dealing with an injury right now for the Bucks, and they've been sliding down the standings. We can get into that more a little later. And so the Raptors, I think the way this team is put together, the head of the snake, I think, is still Scotty Barnes because of the versatility he allows you to play with defensively. I was just going to say that. And then He gives you 5 assists. He can rebound. He can score. I think when he was drafted out of, I think it was Florida State. I think that's where he went to college. I think people kind of questioned the pick because he seemed more like a project kind of player. And he's starting to show you why he was drafted so high because of how he can score, how he can defend, and how he can make plays. He's just a very versatile player. And then I've never been the biggest fan of Brandon Ingram because he's not the greatest 3-point shooter. And he's kind of like, you mentioned DeMar DeRozan earlier. He loves the mid-range game, and I think his shooting can be a little streaky at times. And so I'm not sure if that's a guy you can necessarily win meaningful playoff games with as your first or second option. But I mean, around those two guys, they also have RJ Barrett and a lot of really good role players. Sandro Mamukelashvili, actually turning into a decent NBA player. So I think the way that Darko has these guys playing, they're a young team. They can get into you and defend, and they have a great home court advantage, as we both know from watching them in the playoffs over the years. So I don't see why they can't continue to at least be a really, really good regular season team. I think the playoffs still leaves a lot to be told, but for the regular season, I don't see why there should be any cause for concern with them.
Yes, I mean, so you brought up an interesting thing about regular season versus playoffs because we've talked about in the past about the Eastern Conference contenders. We both had a hunch that Detroit was going to maybe take that leap this year.
Yeah.
If they weren't hindered by injuries, like what the Magic looked like they were going to do last year.
Right.
But the Miami Heat, it's your favorite team, sitting at number 3 in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Real basketball, by the way.
Yeah, and they just got Tyler Hero back, so I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting you bring up the point between regular season versus playoffs because my critique of other teams in the Eastern Conference that I thought was going to hinder them, like the Cavs, for example, is that the Cavs aren't a playoff riser. Jared Allen's words, not mine. The lights get too bright for them sometimes. And the Cavs are kind of just sitting in the middle of the pack right now. I mean, they just lost by double digits to the Raptors on Monday. So the Raptors are handling business. My one thing is that in terms of the playoffs, I mean, we're months away from it, obviously, but this team doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, if any. Like the Raptors, this iteration of the Scotty Barnes era of the Toronto Raptors have only ever been to the play-in. So they don't play playoff games. So that would be kind of uncharted territory, but they'd be playing with house money.
I think they're really I was going to say the only guy on their team that I think that has real playoff experience is Emmanuel Quickly when he was with the Knicks, but I don't know how many times he made the playoffs when he was in New York, so I'm not entirely sure. I would think he'd be the only guy, and Barrett too.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Ben Papp in the chat talking about it. Yeah, midday season. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I there's not a lot of playoff experience. But again, based on what we were talking about with the lack of, real number 1 teams in the Eastern Conference, Ben, I don't know how we got that thing on the screen. I love it though. It's hilarious. I have it on the cut right there. Oops, he's gone now. I don't want to block Palmore's face. I think that it could be wide open. One thing I want to note though, because you and I both picked the Denver Nuggets to win the title this year. And if the Toronto Raptors are going to do something in the playoffs or something like that, I think they can make a solid case for, competing in the Eastern Conference. I want to point out, though, it's not a large sample size yet, but they are 1-3 against the West right now as a whole. Okay. So I think that's something to pay attention to. Just because, I think that's, I mean, it's not always the easiest to play the Western Conference. We've said it multiple times. The Western Conference is the better conference. But then again, I can't even tell you the last time the West was the secondary conference, honestly. It's always been like that. But I don't know. I got my Toronto Raptors dialogue, and it wasn't even like I had to force it.
Yeah. And I mean, talking about the West teams that they've lost to, they lost to the Spurs earlier this year. That was obviously when Wemby was healthy. Dallas got them earlier in this season. They did beat the Grizzlies, and they lost to the Rockets as well. So some pretty good competition. All the Texas teams in the West got them this year at some point. So I think, that is a good point to bring up, because if they're going to make a deep run and who knows with this iteration of the Eastern Conference go to the finals, you're going to have to beat a really good Western Conference team 4 times in a 7-game series. So that's why I don't really see the playoff legitimacy with the Raptors yet. But I think when you're playing in the Eastern Conference with all these question marks surrounding all these teams, and like the Raptors are kind of built for the regular season. Like I said, they're a young team, so they can run. Like they should have fresh legs. So I think they can stack up a bunch of regular season wins to finish with a top 2 or 3 seed. And then maybe you get like your first playoff series at home or your first 2 playoff series at home if you go that far. And then who knows from there. And then just the way the NBA has played out in the postseason, it's hard to imagine somebody, knock on wood, obviously you hope it doesn't happen. It's hard not to imagine somebody like a key player for one team getting hurt. So if the Raptors are able to stay healthy, then you honestly, you never really know how far they can
you
go.
never know. The dice could roll in your favor. Look at the Indiana Pacers, or like look at the Knicks last year. I mean, they probably would have beaten the Celtics anyway, but like with Jason Tatum's injury, like the dice could roll in your favor. You never wanted that to be that way, but that's kind of how it happens sometimes. I do want to say this though, preemptively. If the Raptors are going to get a top 4 seed in the playoffs this year, and they lose in the first round, they're probably going to get called the paper tiger, which I don't think is appropriate. Yes, if you're a top seed, you should theoretically win because like you have the advantage, and especially with, I mean, we both know about Jurassic Park. We've seen teams go. Your team has gone in there before multiple times. So Jurassic Park is arguably the best playoff environment in basketball. So if the Raptors lose a playoff series, they're going to be called a paper tiger. Never were really that good. But I really do think the Toronto Raptors will be the number 1 case study of recent memory of lack of playoff experience and what effect that actually does have. Because I think that they can win like 53, 54 games. Like we're talking about a potential 50-win team here. And they can lose in 6 in the first round to, I don't know, like it's probably going to be the Celtics or something like that. Like knowing how these playoffs work. Like something like that. Jaylen Brown remembers how to use his left hand. And so the Celtics could win, and then the Raptors, there's dialogue around it. I don't know. I think the Raptors even making the playoffs period is a step forward, obviously. But I don't know, man. The NBA playoffs are inherently more fun when the Toronto Raptors have a home game. So I think it'll be fun to watch. But speaking of we talked about how the Western, they got to beat the Western Conference, obviously, to win. You want to win a title, you got to go through the West. One of the Western Conference's most important teams, I wouldn't say most competitive, that's kind of a stretch right now, but the most important teams in the Western Conference, he had a huge injury. Steph Curry on the same Wednesday night in what ended up being a really good cup game versus the Houston Rockets. Stephen Curry got hurt at the very end. He left within the last minutes with a quad contusion is what the MRI revealed. He's going to miss about a week. The Warriors, man, it doesn't get any better, man. Unfortunately, it's like the Warriors have gone through this trend where it sounds the Warriors go through this trend every year at this point since their title run. They start off hot, then Curry gets hurt right around the holiday season. He misses some time. They fall off, and then they just plateau. They don't get any better. Now, this season is worse because they didn't get hot. Like they never were on fire to start the season. Like usually Curry gets hurt and they're already at like 15 wins at least. That's not the case this year. They're like literally 10-10. They are the Atlanta Hawks of the Western Conference.
That's a good comparison when you look at it, because Trae Young, Steph Curry, when you look at the situation of the teams, they are pretty similar. And the Warriors losing that game to the Rockets the other day, it was a double whammy because obviously Steph got hurt, and you never like to see that. Not even if you're a Warriors fan, just an NBA fan in general. When Steph Curry is not playing, the game isn't in as good a place. But you lost to a Rockets team that didn't have Kevin Durant, who was out with a personal issue, a family matter, and you Reed Shepherd's not a scrub by any means. He's a decent player, but like Reed Shepherd scoring 31 points, I don't think that should be happening.
He was a top 5 pick.
I know, but like
top 5 pick?
He was a lottery pick, I think, but like letting him go off for his career high, I don't know about that. I don't think you should be letting that.
Shepherd was, what pick was he? I gotta look this up. Keep talking though. I get what you're saying.
All right, yeah. And so I think losing to the Rockets, and then he's out for how long did you say? A week?
About a week. They said it all depends based on his. Yeah, Reed Shepard was pick 3, bro. Like,
Okay.
I hope the number 3 pick would score 30 in an important game like this. Like,
And I think the schedule makers just hate the Warriors, to be honest.
No,
because
dude.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. You got New Orleans tomorrow. You should hopefully win that game. Like, Jimmy Butler should be able to, I don't want to say carry you, but like lead you to a win against the Pelicans. I hope so, at least. And then you got the Thunder at home. You got the Sixers on the road, the Cavs on the road, the Bulls and the Suns twice, and Orlando. Like, the schedule up until Christmas Day, that's the schedule. And then you got the Mavs on Christmas Day. And then the Raptors right after that. Like, that's, I don't know. The
battle of real hoops right there.
Yeah.
They probably won't play Curry in that game.
And so I hope Steph Curry is not in a situation, because they said a week or more. So I hope they're not in a situation where this thing just completely falls off the wheels, or the wheels fall off the wagon, and then you have to rush him back, and then he is in a situation where he might get even more injured. I hope that's
the last thing the Warriors are going to do is rush Stephen Curry back. They'd rather sit him an extra week and literally lose every game than Steph Curry would. Like, we have that conversation about a lot of other teams in sports in other leagues. That's not happening with Stephen Curry. But I will say this.
Dude, your schedule sucks.
They are cooked. Like the Warriors.
That's crazy.
It is. I saw that, and I literally was like, it's over. It's not over, but it's over.
Yeah.
Like honestly, just pack it up at this point. You're already.
I guess I was gonna say the one silver lining is the Bulls game is December 7th, and they don't play again until December 18th. So I assume that break in the middle is for the NBA Cup, like the final rounds of the Cup in Vegas. So like, if I don't know where they are in their group right now.
They're not making the Cup. They're not making the Cup.
Okay, so I mean, I guess that's the good thing, that they get a little break right there in the middle of the season.
That is a silver lining, yeah. But like, you're sitting at 10-10 right now, literally mid. You have been 5-5 in your last 10. Like, there's no other way to describe this team other than the fact that they have like literally just been mid.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the product they put out on the court, that should not surprise you. Of course, you have a little bit of leeway between you and the Blazers at 9, who are, at 8 and 11. But like look at the Wolves they played 2 games less, but they have 2 fewer losses. The Suns, for whatever reason, are good again with their 3 guard. Like, it's literally,
and they don't even have Jalen Green. Jalen Green's not even playing.
History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. You can't tell me that this is not just like a like a Versace version of like what they used to do in 2015 with Bledsoe, Dragic, and Isaiah Thomas.
Eric, I don't want to be here anymore, Bledsoe.
Yeah. Was Brandon Knight on that team too? Yeah, he was.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if all 4 of them were on the team at the same time, but like, you can't tell me that what they're doing right now is just the high roller version. It's like bigger contracts and like bigger names.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think Devin Booker getting to lead his own team, maybe that has something to do with it. I think the acquisition of Dylan Brooks definitely does help their defensive identity more too, because he's a big personality who gets after it on defense, and I feel like they were missing that with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal there.
Ooh, don't tell Tony that.
Yeah. So I think he's been a big help. And I think they were just so slept on going into the season. People didn't really expect much from them. And now they're like the Raptors, just playing with house money and kind of seeing how this goes.
I mean, they're 8-2 in their last 10. That's the biggest bit. And
yeah,
they were on a roll before that. They just lost not last game, the game before that. But like, if I look at the rest of the conference, everybody else, aside, like the Wolves are 6-4. They've lost 3. They've dropped 3 in a row.
The Wolves are so unserious.
The Wolves
so
are kind of in a
bad.
slide right now. But like everybody else, the Sun in their last 10 games, Suns 8-2, Spurs 7-3, Rockets 8-2, Nuggets 8-2, Lakers 8-2, and then the Thunder, of course, have won 10 in a row. Like, everybody else is on fire right now. And of course, some of these teams are going to have to play extra games than the Warriors because of the NBA Cup. And a lot of these teams, other than maybe the Thunder, are vet teams. They're older, like not as old as the friggin' Warriors, but that might take a toll. Like an extra 2 to 3 games might do that to you. Unfortunately, Darvin Ham won't be there to defend his NBA Cup title.
He lost his first Cup game the other day to Miami. He had been 15-0 in NBA Cup games before that. and now there's a blemish on that record.
The good times have come to an end, man. But that could, give the Warriors some unintentional momentum. So they give them like a week and a half to retool and gear back up. But I think this is just proof that this is proof of concept. We talked about this in the offseason. Jonathan Kuminga played great in game 1, and I literally have not heard like if you're not a Warriors fan, you have not heard anything from Jonathan Kuminga since. Granted, he was hurt. He was off. He wasn't playing basketball for a little while. But like if you watch the first game, which a lot of people did except me because I missed the first half because of a blackout. Still haven't forgiven NBC for that, by the way. But if you watch that game nationally, you were thinking, "Wow, Jonathan Kuminga has taken the leap." No, he has not. It was all facade. And now here we are, 20 games into the season, and the Warriors are literally at square one again, where it's literally Curry and friends.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Butler has been playing well, but like you and I know this, Jimmy Butler only plays well if it's the first round of the playoffs, and the points in it doubles if it's against the Bucks.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and I also saw the other day, really quickly, apparently Jonathan Kuminga and Steve Kerr's relationship still isn't good, which I'm not surprised about because he clearly doesn't want to be there because the Warriors won't pay him what he wants. So, I mean, it's honestly turning it's just another, it feels like another Brandon Ayuk situation, like wide receiver for the 49ers. Like he signed a contract, but I'm sure it's not like the contract that he was looking to sign. So it was kind of a bunch of drama that led to just signing a deal that could have been signed ages ago to put all that behind you. So
yeah,
I don't know about the psychological fit of Jonathan Kuminga on the Warriors. That's what I'm trying to say.
It just doesn't look like it gets any better, man. Like we talked about the Raptors beforehand, and they moved like obviously they don't have a player of Stephen Curry's caliber. Yeah. They got Steph Curry, but we got Brandon Ingram. Like it's not the same. It's not the same, but like the Raptors are playing like so much more as a cohesive unit. Like they're just it's working so much better for them. And like when I look at the Warriors, it just is not, bro. Like it's not working. It's not working, bro. Like what do you mean you lose to? What do you mean you lose to Portland, bro? That's the second loss to Portland this year.
Yeah,
like that just cannot happen. So it doesn't look like. I can't. It's unfortunate, but I can't say that I'm surprised. Like if you looked at the roster that they were bringing into the season, this wasn't a roster that you looked at and you're like, wow, this team is going to compete for a title. Like no, it wasn't going to happen. So it's just unfortunate because Steph Curry gets in, like no disrespect, but he gets injured every year at some point in the season.
Yeah,
it's usually around this time of the season, and at least the Warriors have like a hot start to fall back on, but they don't. They're literally 10-10. So it doesn't look promising. And you just hope at this point, you just hope the bottom doesn't fall out and you can at least like scratch and claw your way into like a play-in spot. Maybe like you can be 7 or 8 and play that first play-in game at home.
Yeah.
So you only have to play 1 to get in. But like at this point, you're not looking for a top 6 seed even. I mean, you wouldn't be the only team to do that. The Clippers, obviously.
Yeah.
The Clippers the bottom has fallen out on the Clippers. What did Kawhi say the other day?
He said we need more talent. They asked him about the situation about the Clippers, what they could do to get better. And he was like, get more talent on the floor, which I thought was hilarious because what Tyronn Lue said after that, he was like, it's a little bit different when your best player is making millions and millions of dollars and then the other guys on the floor are making like 6 figures or something like that. Something like that. Like, I don't know. The Clippers are just in a weird spot right now. Not even weird. They just suck. Like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
what it is.
They're towards the bottom. They're right near the bottom of the conference.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you talk about another team that's kind of sinking as we speak. It's your Milwaukee Bucks. We'll talk about that in a second. But I want to talk to you about, you brought it up to me, speaking in the Western Conference, a battle, like literally the battle of mid, because the Grizzlies played the Mavs the other day. What day was that again? It was
I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was earlier this week.
Yeah.
Maybe like on Monday or something.
It was something.
Or no, like it was last Saturday. So almost a week ago.
It's about a week ago. Bobby Schmurder reference. And John Morant and Klay Thompson so it all started when Cooper Flag got tripped.
Yeah.
Like you saw the clip.
Aldama, right? I think Santi Aldama.
Mm-hmm. You saw the clip, right?
Yeah, I did see it.
So Cooper Flag got tripped, And Klay Thompson went to his defense. That's one thing about Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson knows his role.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knows that if something happens to Cooper Flag, they're all going down. Like,
Yeah.
Klay Thompson might still be out of Dallas by the end of the season. Like, they might clean house entirely, but like for the time being, Klay that's his guy. So Klay Thompson had some words. Words were exchanged, and I guess it culminated with him and Ja Morant, of all people, kind of bickering at the end. Like, I think Ja Morant put a finger in his face. Is that what happened?
Something like that, yeah. And it was after the game ended too.
It was after the game.
Yeah.
Like, and another point to make here is that Ja Morant wasn't even playing. So he was not on the court when Flag got tripped or during that initial when Klay had some words. And so Klay Thompson had something very interesting to say. Well, Ja Morant responded first, right? Because they asked him about it.
I think so, yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember what like the exact. I remember what Klay Thompson said post game about his interaction with Ja Morant, basically saying just like low class, immature, and it's the reason why this iteration of the Memphis Grizzlies hasn't won anything because all those guys do is talk and they don't back up their actions on the court. And he talked about like having respect for like the grit and grind Grizzlies, like the Mike Conley, Marc Gasol, Rudy Gay, Tony Allen team, like Grizzlies teams. And I think he's 100% right. I'm on Klay Thompson's side in this situation.
Well,
for sure.
So there's been a lot of feedback on it, and Klay himself says, "Oh my God, I'm blanking on his words," but Klay had talked about like Ja's lack of accountability. Like Ja talks a lot for a man who doesn't have a lot of accountability, which like that's insane because in reality, like, can he really contest that? Like that was the like he didn't say Ja was like, he didn't use any of the media buzzwords where he's like, he's reckless, he's a thug or anything like that. He didn't say anything about that. He just said Ja Morant lacks accountability. Yeah. And that if someone said that to me, I'd be like, dude, I don't like, you might as well tell me my mom died. Like So my point is saying a lot of other players have stepped in and had some words. David West specifically, you remember David West? You know David West.
Of course.
David West had some words today that were published, and he said, quote, "When you're aging out, young guys try to take a shot at you," referencing the Ja Morant, Klay Thompson situation, basically saying like Ja Morant needs to show more respect to NBA vets. And when you talk about NBA vets, like the epitome of like an NBA vet aging out right now is Klay Thompson in 2025. Like, he's clearly not the same player anymore. You would argue he hasn't been the same player since his injuries. And so it's unfortunate. It's kind of sad to see him go out like this, but like, I think we're so used to a lot of the other NBA legends from his era, like his old teammate Stephen Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, age like fine wine and still play really great. And Klay Thompson is actually more just like the usual result of when an NBA player gets to a certain age and he's just aging out.
Yeah.
So I get where David West is coming from. I also think that it's like, dude, of all players, you're going to go after Klay Thompson?
Yeah.
Like Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson seems to be in such a better headspace. Probably that's what happens when you date Megan Thee Stallion. I get it, but like he seems to be such in a better headspace than where he was like 2 years ago, for example. But like, dude, that man has been through like hell and back for the like last 5 years of his career. Yeah. Like, you do not want to try Klay Thompson, bro. Like, anything you say to him like is not going to like alter like what he thinks of you, or like is it going to intimidate him?
Yeah. Exactly. And I don't know, dude. I said I'm on Klay Thompson's side, but from the Ja Morant perspective, it's been abundantly clear for a while now that he just lacks the maturity that you need to be a superstar in the NBA. And that's just not talking on the court. Like, even if you don't want to say athletes are role models, athletes should be role models, whether you think they are or there aren't, your actions on and off the court are always being judged. They're always being watched, and just watching him talk trash to Klay Thompson on the sideline while he's not playing, while he's beefing with his own team and talking trash in a Nike Tech, by the way. He didn't get the memo that we don't wear those anymore. It's a quarter zip season. We don't do Nike Techs anymore. He didn't get that memo. I just don't it's really sad to see someone with all the potential that he has, especially when we saw him a few years ago with the Grizzlies when they were top of the West and like people thought they had a legit chance to like win a title one day. And the injuries have gotten him. And it's more so just been the lack of maturity. Like even the situation where he was fined for doing his like handgun celebration after a 3, and then literally the next game, the following game after he got fined, he did it again. Like he just doesn't. He's extremely immature. Like it's just not. You can't debate that anymore. And I don't think you can. I don't know if he's ever going to grow out of that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, you want to be delicate with the situation just because. Well, a lot of people, you don't want to overstep and say something because you know who Ja Morant is, and I mean, obviously the actions speak louder than words. I totally get that, even though his words have gotten him in trouble sometimes too.
Yeah.
Exhibit A, I'm fine in the West.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies have not been fine in the West since he said that, by the way.
Ask the coaching staff.
Yeah. And so I do think that it's kind of a slippery slope because you talk about his actions and it's like, oh, you like some people will say, oh, he's just a cocky athlete, but are you like talking about are you saying that you're calling him a thug because he's because he's a young black man? I'm like, no, we're like that word gets thrown around. I don't think he is.
No, I just think he's immature.
I think the issue is that I think the issue is that it's immature and he kind of fake cosplays as it. And other NBA players have said this, like Kenyon Martin, who we'll talk about more in a second. Kenyon Martin was just on Gil's Arena, and he was talking about this. I mean, Kenyon Martin has been a critic of Ja Morant previously, and he said, quote, "I want to know when Ja became tough. If you really want smoke with him, right? Why don't you extend your arm all the way? Why you got the bend in the elbow to point in the face? You fake tough and you fake like you want smoke with the dude. Like Kenyon Martin of all people. Like if Kenyon Martin is calling me out for my lack of toughness, I'm fake tough. I really need to look at myself in the mirror. Yeah. Like, you don't want to like you don't like that's New Jersey Nets pride right there, bro. Like Kenyon Martin was that guy back in the day when he was hooping in the NBA. But yeah, I don't know. It's just all the more apparent, like you said, that Ja Morant lacks the maturity to be the high caliber player that the Grizzlies need if they want to continue to succeed. It's almost like Klay Thompson's comment on accountability was really interesting because the more I thought about it, the more I think about how, the Grizzlies were on a roll 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Everybody thought they were the next best team to come out of we thought they were going to be what the Thunder are now. And so I think about how, with Ja Morant, with all of the incidents that he's had off the court and like his time away, I mean, he's had injuries too, but it's almost like, once people started calling him out and he started facing consequences, it's like he doubled down. Yeah. It didn't get better. So Klay Thompson's comments on accountability were like really stuck with me the more I thought about it. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. I just like, because again, he's a high flyer. We talked about this earlier when we were like a couple weeks ago. Yeah. We were talking about where he could potentially go for a trade. And Ja Morant puts people in the seats when he's playing, and he's not in a Nike Tech, obviously. But it's just, I don't know. It's unfortunate. I think like the Grizzlies got to make a move, man. Like I think the Grizzlies need to the bottom is falling out for the Grizzlies, and I think they just need to let it go.
Yeah, it's like the bottom line is you have to ask, can this guy be the face of your franchise? And based on the way he acts, I think the answer is no.
Yeah, no, and that's unfortunate because 3 years ago we thought that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate, but let's talk like there's been beef all over the place, bro, because I talked about Kenyon Martin really quick about what he said about Ja Morant, but like you were telling me about, you said you brought something else up to me about Kenyon Martin talking to somebody else who is, this is hilarious on paper. Tell me about it.
So Kenyon Martin, I don't know if he has his own podcast. I know he does his thing on Gil's Arena, but he was doing some podcast or something, and he got into this whole rant about how he could name, I think he said 200 power forwards that are better than Draymond Green. And he literally just listed, I think pretty much probably every other power forward that has played in the NBA. Like he had Nene on there, dude.
Nene wasn't even a power forward; he was a center.
He had Nene on there. He had like all these like random players that I think over the years a discussion has been like, if you want to test somebody's ball knowledge, ask their opinion on Draymond Green and whether or not you think he's a good player. I think what Draymond has given to the game, like, no, he's not a traditional power forward in terms of like, oh, I can give this guy the ball on the block and I can go tell him to get me a bucket. That's not what Draymond Green is. It's not what he's been asked to do through his career. And I think when you look at this situation, for example, I've gotten on him before about his on the court antics. I think he is a detriment to his team when he just can't stop getting technical fouls. I always point back to the example. I think it was against Orlando when he got ejected. I think it was like in the first quarter or something, like super early into the game. And you could literally see Steph Curry on the bench, like in tears. I don't know if it was because of that.
I remember that.
But you literally made Steph Curry cry because you can't stop getting technicals. And now he has to go out there and carry this team. And he's missing his best defensive player, his anchor. Regardless of that, I think Kenyon Martin went overboard. I think it's hilarious. I think it's very funny. And it's just the NBA being like the National Drama Association, because that's literally what it is. Like 200 power forwards better than Draymond Green is pretty diabolical. But honestly, I'm here for the banter. I'm here for the banter. I want to look up his list really quick.
Did you see Nick Young show up? Because I guess he was on the episode of Gil's Arena recently. And he showed up in a 23 Golden State jersey.
Yeah, and they were talking, and he was like, Kenyon Martin was talking about, I did my job on the Nets. Like, I got paid. And then Nick Young was like, clearly you didn't. They let you go. So, like, it was the whole thing was hilarious. Nick Young's hilarious.
You want to complete side point, but if you want to talk about teams that like almost got it and then blew up, like look at the early 2000s Nets, bro. Like I think a lot of people forget that team made back-to-back NBA finals.
Yeah.
And had they not played two of the best teams in like modern NBA history in the three-peat Lakers and the Robinson Duncan Spurs, they probably would have won at least one of them. Like you mean to tell me that Nets team with Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, Richard Jefferson, Kerry Kittles. No one's talking about Kerry Kittles. They don't beat the Sacramento Kings, bro. Like Kings Nets was David Stern's NBA nightmare, and that is why it couldn't happen.
Yeah,
that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, that's hilarious. I don't know, like that. It's funny you say that. You know, you want to test somebody's ball knowledge, ask them about Draymond Green and where he stands in terms of the greatest power forwards of all time.
Yeah,
Draymond Green is the epitome of a point forward, in my opinion. Like he's like, he's not like LeBron, like the same way as LeBron, but like in that he has the same capabilities. But like Draymond is such a cerebral player, which you may not think about because you like, if you're a casual, you probably just see Draymond more for like his technical fouls and him choking Rudy Gobert.
Right.
But like he's an extremely cerebral player, which like clearly Kenyon Martin doesn't understand that, with all due respect.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't pull up the list, but like some of the names he had on that list, I'm like, really, bro? But like
he probably had Yusuf Nurkic on there.
He had some current player that I can't remember who it was off the top of my head.
Actually, no, he wouldn't have put Nurkic. Nurkic as a center, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty funny though, just because it's like, really? Nene is crazy. Like,
yeah.
Like Nene was a ball, like was a hooper. Like Nene was great. But like Nene was a center, bro. Like, come on. We know this. Like come on. I don't know. But anyway, speaking of power forwards, I wanted to give you
Elton Brand on there, bro.
I mean, Elton Brand, what like that's the original, bro. Like I can't. It's always a slippery slope when you talk about like the original and like older NBA players from like generations prior, because you don't want to disrespect them, but you also don't want to be like bro, Elton Brand's not racking up Elton Brand's not giving you like 8 assists a night. Like usually, I don't know. I haven't looked at stats off the top of my head.
What about Popeye Jones?
He put Popeye Jones on there?
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. Do you have the full list?
I have a tweet pulled up on NBA Central on Twitter. He had some of the names on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking through it right now. Carlos Boozer is on there.
Did you know? I just discovered this recently. Did you know that Carlos Boozer was on the Cleveland Cavaliers to start his career, and in a parallel universe, he could have been LeBron's running mate?
I did not know that actually.
Yeah. And I just watched a video about this. This is a complete tangent. I was talking about shout out SB Nation for the secret base. They put a video about that, how Boozer had played his first 2 years in Cleveland, and he was supposed to sign a contract, and then he left to go play for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, by the way. But speaking of power forwards, I want to talk to you about. I wanted to give you a platform real quick.
All right. Let me turn my camera back on.
Yeah, get your camera back on real quick.
All right.
I wanted to give you a platform to discuss the Milwaukee Bucks because your guy Giannis has been out for almost 2 weeks at this point, over a week and a half.
Yeah.
And the Bucks have just been like free falling. Like they're like skydiving in the and they forgot the parachute. Like,
yeah.
I want to just give you the floor just to like your thoughts on it. Like just what do the Bucks do from here?
Yeah, the Bucks are in the nightmare scenario right now. This is literally the worst case scenario possible. Giannis is hurt, and now the team is out there basically trying to be competitive in these games. They've lost 6 in a row after starting the season. I think they were 7-3 at one point or something like that. Like they had a really good start to the year. Now they've lost 6 in a row. They're 2-8 in their last 10. Giannis is supposed to come. He was listed questionable for the game against Miami on Wednesday. So that means he is going in the right direction in terms of his recovery. So like, I don't think he should be out longer than 2 weeks, like fingers crossed. But you lost to the Heat on Wednesday in a very competitive game. I'll give him that. Miles Turner had a season high 24 points. But I think with Giannis out, you're just seeing all of the flaws that this Bucks roster has and all of the flaws that Giannis covers up when he is playing. And the main flaw is that they don't have a guy who is taller than like 6'6" or 6'7". That was on purpose, by the way, who can create their own shot. Giannis is the only forward on that team who can handle the ball and create a shot for himself. And when you have a guy who is not necessarily known for that, not the greatest at it, that's a problem. Like Kyle Kuzma I don't know if I've seen a player who's like streaky quarter by quarter. Like you see guys who are streaky by game. I think Kyle Kuzma is the first player I've ever seen who's streaky like by quarter. Like literally by the quarter, you don't know what you're going to get from him. Like he can give you like a 10-point first quarter and then he won't score again until the fourth. Like I don't know what Bobby Portis, I've talked about it before. I appreciate what he did for the 2021 Bucks championship team, but I think you've got to find a way to part ways and just see if you can trade him for a different piece. Ryan Rollins, I love Ryan Rollins. I think he would be like, when you talk about what a most improved player is, I don't know if I've seen a player that looks better than he does, because when Giannis doesn't play, he's scoring like 25 a night when Giannis doesn't play. So he's taken a huge leap, and I think that's a good building block for if Giannis is going to stay there long-term after this year. That's a good building block to have. But I just don't like, you see it with Giannis out. They lost to the Blazers the other day, and the Blazers, it was the corpse of the Blazers. Like it was that bad. Like Drew Holiday wasn't playing, Shaedon Sharpe was out. I think the only healthy player they might have had was Denny Avdia and whoever else they had out there. And it just doesn't look good right now. Now they're in a spot where he has to come back and just will them to the playoffs, which I don't like for Giannis, because he takes a lot of punishment the way he plays. It's how he got injured, and he hasn't been getting the greatest whistle this year. I will say, I don't care what the free throw attempt numbers say. I don't care if he's first in free throw attempts. His whistle has been awful this year. He's not getting the calls he should be getting, and I just hope he doesn't get hurt long term. That's just my thought.
Well, the one silver lining is that everybody in the Central Division is losing. Nobody's on a win streak right now. So there is that. I mean, the Pistons were just on a big one, but like, I mean, you look at that, the rest of the schedule. Like, if you look at the rest of the schedule coming up, I'm taking a look at what they got. It's doable because you got the Knicks. You got the Knicks tonight, which
Giannis.
Like,
I think Giannis might play. I think he's tonight, still questionable. But I doubt he's gonna play.
Because if he's not, like, brother, like, pack it up. Like,
yeah,
pack it up. But then you got Brooklyn, who they're telling me, breaking news, they're threatening to play basketball. Like, that's shit. Everybody's sounding the alarm. Then you got Washington, Detroit again. Like, you can get those 2 wins. You can pick up 2 wins right there that can get you back on your feet and closer to 500 again. But then, like, dude, I don't know, man, because you got the Pistons again. You got Philly. Detroit again, the Raps,
And then Toronto.
the Raptors, the Wolves, Pacers, Grizzlies. Like for the rest of the year, it's like you go through. It's like hills and valleys because when you like the end of December, that's you can get back onto a nice little win streak right there.
Yeah.
Like from the Bulls till like Golden State, really. Like those are some wins that you can pick up. So I don't know. I think the Giannis experience is like, or what's going on this right now is just the prime example of like, dude, when an NBA, when a superstar goes down, like you're fried, bro. Like I'm gonna be curious to see who has a worse record, like the Bucks or the Warriors by the end of December.
Well, I mean the Bucks have lost, so they lost their last 6, but the game that Giannis got hurt in was against the
Hornets, right?
It was against the Cavaliers. So it was even before that they were losing because they got blown out by the Lakers a few weeks ago. And then they lost to the Cavs. That's when he got hurt. And then they've lost their 4 games, excuse me. He hasn't played in full since he got hurt. So.
And then you split games with the Hornets, bro.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's like, I think this is why I wouldn't be too mad at Giannis if he decided to leave and go somewhere else, because it's like, I don't know if there's much more he can squeeze out of this team. I feel like he's maxed out this situation with the Bucks.
The Ryan Rollins, you bring up a good point. I mean, I'm looking real quick. In the 6 games, 5 of the 6, he's been the leading scorer. Like going back to Cleveland, it was Rollins 24, Rollins 32, Rollins 24, Portis 22, Rollins 26. So that's Oh, and then Giannis was the leader for score versus the Lakers. But like I get what you're saying. Like that's MIP caliber in my opinion. But I don't know. It's just. If Giannis is going into free agency talks, so is Daniel Palmore. So
yeah, exactly. Like I get it. When a team loses their best player, they're not going to look good, but they shouldn't look as bad as they looked against the Blazers.
Oh, brother, just wait until you watch the Warriors play.
Dog.
Just wait until you watch the Warriors play.
It's not looking good.
It's not. None of it's looking good. How are both of our teams like in the the bottom hasn't fallen out, but I see holes.
It's getting close.
Yeah, the latch is kind of like is a little creaky. Let's end on a better note, though. Last thing I want to talk about is there are some players that are coming back, but it's the rich getting richer, bro. Like we were talking about, like what players are coming back, and the first one that came to mind was Jalen Williams on the Thunder. Bro, the Thunder have won 10 in a row. They have 1 loss.
Yeah,
like, and Jalen Williams is coming back, a resident like 20 point per game scorer. It just like, bro. Of all, everybody's like, I wish the teams were healthier. It's like, okay, how about the defending champs? No, bro, not that one. I want to point out, you know who the Thunder's 1 loss is?
It's against the Blazers, I think.
Yes,
I remember. Yeah,
dude, the Blazers have like the funniest set of wins, and yet they're 3 games under 500. They're like 8-11, I think, like right now. Like, what the hell is going on in Portland?
Yeah,
and you know who their interim coach is?
It's I do know who it is. It's the dude who used to play Thiago Splitter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a friend about this, and he was like, oh yeah, Thiago Splitter, like the interim coach. I'm like, dude, every time I think of Thiago Splitter, I think of that one Braun highlight.
Yeah. When maybe the most embarrassing block in NBA.
The loudest block I've ever heard on a clip. Yeah. So anyway, the Blazers are the Blazers aren't real. I think it's a mirage because it's whatever. But the Thunder have been winning in a way that dude, nobody's coming even close.
Dude, they're so good. I forgot that J-Dub wasn't even playing. I would have thought that they were fully healthy and they were just cruising through all these games. But they're
only reason. Okay, so I don't expect this to happen. But there's one thing, and you could tell me if you agree with this or not, or if this is kind of ridiculous and this is just me kind of hate watching. The only thing that I could see that could possibly mess with this is the team chemistry element. I know that this team just won a title with pretty much this exact team, but you've been playing over a month now without Jalen Williams, which means a lot of players have stepped up and played a lot more and gotten more buckets and been more important without him. And now he comes back, and I know that historically speaking, teams can sometimes struggle with that much talent, can struggle to kind of incorporate a new player back in without kind of messing with somebody else. Not saying this is going to happen, but I think it's always something to keep an eye on, because I mean, they've been breezing the wins. Like I look at the schedule, I can't see a single digit win. None of these wins have been single digit.
Yeah.
Actually no, they lost to the Wolves. They beat the Wolves only by 8. Sorry, on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But like, if I look at the rest of the schedule, it's not that hard, bro.
Yeah, especially for them.
It's Phoenix,
like,
it's Portland, it's Golden State, it's Dallas, it's Utah, it's the Clippers, the Wolves, the Grizzlies, and then the Spurs back to back. Like, you can win all those games again.
Yeah,
you could keep winning, bro.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how good the Thunder are because they got AJ Mitchell and Aaron Wiggins in there in J-Dub's absence, both averaging like around 15 points per game on incredible efficiency. And it just shows the depth of their team. What's crazy about the Thunder, I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, but I forget whose pick they own this year. I think it might be the Clippers. Like, do they own the Clippers pick or somebody's pick? Because there's a possibility that they could get the number 1 pick in the lottery this year, I think, because they own some team's pick, like really bad teams pick right now. I imagine it's the Clippers. It has to be the Clippers. I don't know. But like, dude, Shea isn't even playing in the fourth quarter in most of these games, and he's averaging whatever it is, like 31 a game. I mentioned Wiggins and Mitchell already, like sliding into that 2-guard spot and giving them great production. I think the team chemistry thing, I see the point, but I don't know, based on the way the Thunder play and how they act like post game when they win, I think it's a very tight knit group. And I think Jalen Williams coming back shouldn't be a problem. I think it's a team where everybody knows their role, and the role for Wiggins and Mitchell right now is to produce with Jalen Williams out. And when Jalen Williams comes back, you take a back seat. I imagine they all understand that.
So. It is the Clippers pick.
Okay. Yeah, so they're gonna get a lottery pick.
Thank goodness this is the last pick from the Paul George trade. All the other picks have been used.
Yeah,
this is the last one, but it might be the funniest one because the Clippers.
It's gonna be like a top 5 or whatever pick. Like if it keeps going in this direction for the Clippers.
Yeah.
So,
but I get what you're saying. I have 2 questions for you. First of all, you and I, like I said earlier in the show, famously did not pick the Thunder to win the title.
We did not.
Are you still sticking with that?
I'm going to stick with it because it's a long season, dude. And like, I get they might break the Warriors record 73-9. They could win 74, 75 games this year. But I like what Denver's doing right now. I like how Nikola Jokic is playing. And even though the Cam Johnson fit hasn't worked out the way they thought it would, I just think the Nuggets almost beat them last year with MPJ playing with one shoulder and Jamal Murray also being hampered. Or no, it was Aaron Gordon who was dealing with a hamstring injury that series. So I think a healthy Nuggets team has the best shot to beat them, and they almost did it last year when they weren't healthy. So like, I think that's going to be a very competitive series again, and I think I like Denver this time around because I don't know if we can get a back-to-back champion. I don't see it. In this era,
Tim Hardaway's low-key been playing nice. A six assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah.
This goes right. You answered kind of my second question. Like, dude, are we seeing 74 wins from the Thunder this year?
They could. Like you brought up the schedule. There's no game that they're going to play in where they aren't definitely the better team. Like they're going to be the better team in probably every game they play in. Like if you think they're the best team in the league, and then they're arguably going to have the best player on the court every time they step out on the floor in Shea. So they might, dude, and I'm here for it, but I just don't know if that will equate to winning another championship.
So that's exactly my thought process too. Because when I think about a team, I mean, I know this firsthand. Like no team has come up short like the 73 win Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
You remember where you were and what you were doing when the Warriors lost Game 7 on Father's Day, by the way.
On Juneteenth, also.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yep.
So I'll say that I'm sticking with Denver also, long story short, but historically speaking, not just in basketball, but in sports as a whole, whenever a team plays lights out in the regular season and dominates in the regular season, specifically in historical fashion, like look at the winningest regular seasons in all the North American sports, the 4 big ones. All 4 of those teams that hold those records don't have a title from that season.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the outlier forever was the 96 Bulls, who won 72 games and then won the title. But
Yeah.
so it can be done. But if you look at every other iteration, like baseball's winningest team, I want to say it's not the Mariners. It's another. They don't have the title. The winningest team in the NFL is the Patriots. They didn't win the Super Bowl. And then you have the 73 win Warriors. And then and hockey too. I want to say it's the Detroit Red Wings. So all of the winningest seasons in North American sports don't have ended with a title. However, I will say this. If there was going to be a team that could break that cycle, it'd probably be this Thunder team. Just because it's like a better version, in my opinion, of the 73 win Warriors, but in different ways. I think that, like, I would argue that this iteration of Shea is not as dominant as that version of Stephen Curry, first unanimous MVP, by the way.
Yeah.
I think but I think their supporting cast is better than what the Warriors had in 2015, 2016. So I don't know. I do think that we can see a record breaking season from them, but there's just this weird. I don't know if it's a mental thing or it might just be you just run out of gas.
Yeah.
Because you use it all on the tank. You have the pedal to the metal for all regular season. You kind of just run out of it. You run out of. There's nothing left in the tank. But those teams always just seem to come up short.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest anomaly in sports to me. But like the more I think about it, the more it makes sense because it's like, I don't know, you gave it your all. And I think there's also a mental element of it too. Granted, this team has won a title. They just won a title. They won it in probably one of the most thrilling 7-game series we've ever seen. But when you win so many games in the regular season, you don't always know how to handle a loss. And you could argue that was kind of the case last year because, like, dude, the Pacers were on fire. And again, the biggest what if I think in basketball history is with Tyrese Halliburton's injury in Game 7.
Yeah.
So the Pacers had him on the ropes all series, and then it ended the way that it ended. If the Thunder win 75 games this year, which would be absurd, like something like that, like if you get into the playoffs and you have to play like a Denver Nuggets team who literally just plays like a machine, like if they're healthy, they're just a well-oiled machine. You know this too, even because you are the number one Nikola Jokic fan, obviously. I don't know, man. My long-winded answer to say I'm sticking with Denver, especially if the Thunder. I think the closer the Thunder get to a record-breaking season, the less likely it is they win a title. It's such a weird anomaly, but I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, I see that too. And you were right on the Mariners, by the way. It's the Mariners and the Cubs are tied for the most wins.
Is it what is it like 100? It's 100 something wins. It's like
116.
116.
Yeah.
The Mariners, was it 2000, was it the 2001 Mariners?
2001 and then the 1906 Chicago Cubs.
Oh my God. Yeah. The 2001 Mariners is a very interesting case study. This is like random sports knowledge that I have. The 2001 Mariners didn't even play for a World Series. They didn't even win the pennant, the AL pennant. So like it'd be something similar if what we think is going to happen with the Western Conference, the similar thing would happen, because I do think that a Thunder Nuggets thing, it seems very much like a 1-2 matchup. So, or a 1-3. So, but I don't know. Like when all the chips are in, it's hard for me to go against Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, I agree.
But if Aaron Gordon's quad falls off, like then the Thunder in 6, bro. Like I don't know.
Even then, like I think Jokic can give him if Cam Johnson suddenly remembers how to play basketball in the playoffs, maybe they could have a shot. Like
Jokic, there are a handful. There's like a handful of players. I could probably count them on one hand of guys that can go win me a game by themselves. It's probably in this day and age. It's probably Jokic. It's probably Shea. It's Giannis. It's Luka, and it's maybe Stephen Curry still.
Yeah.
Like, and so you got the floor with two of them, but I'm taking the guy who doesn't, like, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I'm taking the guy who doesn't get most of his points by slowing the pace down and shooting free throws.
Yeah.
Like
by manipulating the game, manipulating the rules.
That's historically how the playoffs work. Like,
yeah.
I call it James Harden syndrome. Like it just like if your game caters to shooting more free throws, it's just not usually how it works. You just don't get you get the short end of the stick sometimes. So whatever. It'll be interesting to see though. Like if we're in March and they're already pushing 60 wins, I'm like, so we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting if the Thunder, I'm rooting for the Thunder to break the record, because if the Thunder break the record, a new generation of basketball fans won't grow up with the 73 win Warriors being the title. And then they don't go and ask, oh my God, well, surely they won the title this year. And then there's that awkward pause where it's like,
Yeah.
no. So as a Warriors
Yeah.
fan, I'm hoping that the Thunder can hit 74 wins.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll keep watching all of that stuff. It's obviously we're 6 weeks into this. Yeah. 5-6 weeks into the season. Enjoy the Black Friday. I know Palmer's gonna go take a look at everything.
Yes, sir. But the Bucks do. If Giannis plays today, I will watch my first Bucks game in like a week. If Giannis decides to play today,
you should get the. You should go look to see if the Cream City jerseys are on sale.
I saw Bucks Pro Shop is 60% off, so maybe that's included.
Go get the Cream. If you get the Cream City jersey, you got to wear it on the next episode whenever you get it.
Yeah, for sure.
So now you loyal audience has to tune in because you want to see that. It's going to be cinema, but. That's all the time we have for this episode of the Professional Hate Watching Association on this special Black Friday episode. We'll be back to our regular schedule next week. But until then, for Daniel, I'm Ethan. We will see you next week.